The first question is, how do we reconcile between the hadith which says that indeed this religion is easy, indeed this religion, there is easiness in this religion, and the hadith, there will come a time when holding on to the religion is like holding on to hot coals. But obviously we know there's no tanaqud, there can never be any contradiction between any of the texts. If there is any tanaqud, it can only be, it's explained in a number of ways. Either it is because, one text came early on in Islam, the other text came afterwards, maybe there's abrogation, maybe one hadith is authentically established, maybe another is authentically established. But if none of that is present, then obviously it's not possible for there to be any contradiction, and there are different ways of reconciling. One is am, one is khas, one is in a context, another context. So here in this example, there is no contradiction to begin with, because when it speaks about the religion being easy, then the religion is very easy. The quality of this religion is that it is very easy. First of all, Allah has commanded us to do whatever we are able to do of the obligations, and He has He has ordered us to keep away from all of the prohibitions. Right? So for a Muslim to follow his religion, if he does not have ilm, he can very quickly and easily go and ask an alim, this action, this thing, is it halal or haram, this clothing, this food, this act of ibadah, is it sunnah or bid'ah, is this? Why? Because the religion itself is established, preserved, and it's accessible to everybody and anybody. And that's why even the scholars like Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, he says, look, for the common person amongst the Muslimin, right, it's for him to follow his religion, it's very, very easy. Right? If he doesn't know, he goes and asks an alim, and it is permissible for him to follow that alim, what he says, even if it's out of taqleed, because he doesn't have the ability and the know-how, for him to act upon that, so long as he is not made aware that it opposes the evidence. Right? He can follow his religion in this manner. So for a Muslim to follow his religion, to know the rulings of purification, the rulings to do with prayer, the rulings to do with fasting, and all those other things, what he needs to do on a day-to-day, the religion is very easily accessible, first of all, and even just acting upon it, it is also very, very, very simple and very easy. You do the obligations, the pillars, right? The prayer, the fasting, the hajj, whatever, and then the emphasized other like obligations that we find come in the Sharia, honouring the parents, honouring the guest, and so on and so forth. And you keep away from the blameworthy things. So the religion itself is ease, right? And there are general principles we all understand. Everything in the dunya is permissible until and unless it is specifically being prohibited, right? And the things which we are prohibited from are very small, right? All food is lawful except for what? A small number of categories that are unlawful. All clothing is lawful except for specific categories that are not permissible, right? Resembling the people of disbelief, or clothing which reveals, or whatever it might be, right? In the religion, it's the way around. You worship only with that which is established in the religion. Compare that to the religion of, let's say, the Yahud, for example. I mean, I don't know what you know about the religion of the Yahud, but it is a extremely difficult, detailed, pedantic, thing to follow. And the average person, it's out of his ability, right? Right? So that is very, very difficult. Even the laws of many of these lands that we live in, the Western social democracies, like I said to you before, in Islam, everything is lawful until it is specifically known to be, prohibited. Here, there are literally, thousands and hundreds of thousands or millions of like statutes and acts and this and whatever, and you never know, you fall into something that you're going to get fined for, taken to court for, this, whatever, right? It's there to restrict your actions, and to limit your actions, and to penalize you for actions, and it's very, very hard to follow, right? So Islam has come and it has liberated us from the shackles that were put on the people that came before because of their own, swerving away from the guidance. Allah has saved us from that and give us an easy religion to follow. The connection to Allah is direct. There's no intermediaries. There's no, wasa'it, whatever. We don't need to make tawbah to Allah to seek forgiveness. It's very direct and very straightforward. So in all aspects of our religion, the worship of Allah, dealings with each other, the trade transactions, right? The halal, the haram, everything, Allah has made it very, very easy. He has perfected it for us. All we need to know is what is the ruling and we act upon it. Very simple, right? This in no way contradicts what the Messenger of Allah informed us that what will happen at a certain point in time, where for a Muslim to hold on to his religion, it will be like hot coals. Meaning, it will become difficult because of the environment and the people present and the misguidance and the tribulations. Right? He will find it hard to stick to his religion, which is otherwise easy. And it's very easy to understand this hadith, because if you reflect upon the situation now and today, in many respects, just to give some examples, you are looked upon as being backward if you don't accept certain ideas, like many ideas are present amongst the non-Muslims of evolution, the Big Bang, things like that. There is generally most of the nations and the people of nations, even Muslim nations, have been put to trial with frivolities, with things which are time wasters and taking them away, like many of the sports and things like that. And if you are someone who is a religious person, someone who practices, who prays, you are looked down upon. You look down upon by your family, by your relatives, and they say, this one is a, what do they say? Sometimes they say in Urdu, this one's a Maulvi. This guy is like, meaning that he's a bearded guy who's, just present in the mosque, and he reads like, religious books. Right? And he's detached from reality. Right? So you hear these things from relatives and things like that. And then there's the shahawat that a person is put to trial to. There's the shubuhat, you're put to trial for example, let's say Ahlul Bid'ah, they take control, they influence the rules, as they did do in the past, in the time of Imam Ahmad. To hold on to the religion and to hold on to the truth, well, you could lose your life just by saying the Quran is the speech of Allah uncreated. You could lose your life. You would have your head chopped off for holding on to that. These things have happened in the past, right? These things have happened in the past. And so these types of things nowadays, for Muslims, like if you, there are many things, and obviously they are more exaggerated and found more so in the lands of the non-Muslims because of the tremendous deviation from revelation and just human nature, the fitrah, the deviation from that. So many trials and tribulations from that angle as well, just to hold on to your religion, to be able to pray, to be able to keep a beard, right? And to be able to say that this is a boy, this is a girl, this is a man, this is a woman, right? This is what is meant, that just to hold on to your religion, it will become so difficult that it's like holding on to hot coals. But that does not mean that the religion is hard, the religion is easy. Allah's made it easy. But it's the tribulations and the trials and the things that are going to come to you from other people that are going to make holding on to it to be very difficult. And that's why the reward for holding on to the truth, to the rope of Allah, to Allah's religion, a person will be rewarded tremendously. In fact, even in the hadith, the Messenger said he will be rewarded 50 times. 50 times, the Sahaba were surprised. 50 times? And he said, yes, 50 times of the likes of you. Right? So whoever has patience and sabr and holds on to the right aqidah, and who fears Allah, and who does what is commanded, keeps what is prohibited, and remains steadfast, and repels and keeps all of this evil at bay, then he will have a tremendous reward. So there's no contradiction between these two hadiths, because they are you're referring to two separate things. One is the religion itself is easy. Allah has made it easy. Allah has perfected this religion for us. We don't have to use the aql to, invent something Allah has already perfected. We just need to use the reason to actually understand and follow it. That's what we need to do. And as for the hot coals, that is trials and tribulations.